Welcome back to another episode of Coronavirus World Talk. On this show, we interview people from around the world, from different walks of life. We ask them how this global pandemic is affecting their day-to-day lives, what they think the next few weeks and months look like. As always, we always try to find a silver lining in this situation. Today, we have Tyler joining us from Hawaii. How's it going, Tyler?
Doing great, man. Thanks for asking.
Good. So let's tell people a bit more about yourself and how this pandemic is affecting your day-to-day life.
Yeah, for sure. My name is Tyler Landon. I'm an entrepreneur here in Honolulu, Hawaii. I run a business called SupDog Hawaii, SUPDOG Hawaii. It's my passion to teach people how to stand up paddleboard with their dog. It's been a really fun business. I have thoroughly enjoyed the art of stand-up paddleboarding, as well as teaching dogs a little bit more about the ocean and allowing people to really kind of create this special bond through ocean activity. And it's been a wonderful lifestyle. Honolulu is a beautiful place to live. As you know, it's like the #1 tourist destination in the world. And things are a lot different right now. Things have changed significantly, and not necessarily for the better, but it's definitely a big change.
What does that change look like day to day for you? Does that mean less people around?
Absolutely. I think the biggest change is the state of Hawaii closed their doors to all tourism. And then if you can see behind me here, this is Kapiolani Park. I'm right on the beach here in Honolulu. Normally this is absolutely flooded with tourism. There is typically like hundreds of people here all day long. And right now there is barely a single soul, which is so strange. It's very unique. Obviously, it's kind of nice for the locals, but at the same time, there's a very big market drop that has taken place, and there's a lot of fear out in the news and in the air, and you can kind of sense that. Thankfully, we have this ambiance in Hawaii that's very floral, and it's green and it's vibrant. We have the ocean that's pure, and it's a wonderful place to be during quarantine. But at the same time, there's a very, very strange vibe going on right now.
Are you at all worried that the tourism might not return right away?
Absolutely, man. Very concerned that the tourism might not come back for several months. I know that the state of Hawaii is very concerned about the spread of COVID-19. Right now, we have a little over 300 cases on the island of Oahu, which is nothing compared to the rest of the country. We're kind of a couple weeks back. We're like maybe 2 weeks behind the peak of the curve in the rest of the world. So we are really in this kind of sensitive stage where we're trying to flatten the curve so much so that we don't see a spike and we don't see that peak. So it's to be expected that they're not going to open up the airports anytime soon. So for the locals, that's something they've been dreaming about for years, because tourism can be a flood on the islands. But at the same time, it's a great financial resource for a lot of people who live here. There's a lot of businesses that cater directly to tourism, and yeah, we're hoping that the tourism can come back soon. But at the same time, we're not sure when that's going to be.
If you wanted to travel to the mainland right now, could you make that happen?
Yes, if we wanted to, we could. The likelihood would be that we would have to undergo a 14-day quarantine period, stay-at-home quarantine wherever we did go. So if I wanted to go back to California to see my dad or my brothers, I could fly out, but getting to the California would not be a very pretty sight. They have much more extreme cases there and widespread infections. So they would certainly not want anyone coming from elsewhere in the world to visit. So I would probably have to undergo a 14-day quarantine. So yes, you can leave the island, but it is restricted to coming to the island. I do have some friends who left just before this all took place. They do live here, and they ended up getting stuck back on the mainland because Hawaii completely closed its doors.
And out of those 300 cases, do you know anybody personally who's contracted the virus?
No, I do not. I don't know anyone personally. Thank God I don't know anyone that has contracted the virus. I don't know anyone in my direct family or my friends across the world. I'm very, very lucky and blessed to not have anyone who's been completely directly affected by this. And I'm hoping it stays that way.
And are you happy with your, I guess it would be a governor for the state of Hawaii? Are you happy with their response to this pandemic?
I have mixed feelings about what's going on. I believe that the response is appropriate. We do need to take corrective action to ensure that everyone stays safe. Um, at the same time, my business has taken a complete pitfall. I have had to follow trends to subside all business activity, and that can be a little scary. You know, it's one of those things where just being patient, because my business is very much directed towards beach activity. Currently, right now, all of the beaches and parks are closed. I'm actually technically trespassing right now, being here at the beach, but there's nobody here, and hasn't been anybody here for a while. They do have police and lifeguards coming around. They don't necessarily cite anyone. They just kick us all out. So it's been a unique experience. Yeah.
So this is a very bad thing and a bad event, but do you see it affecting Hawaii in any positive way for the future?
Oh, absolutely. I see the upturn. You know, when this thing all turns over, people are going to want to go back to their regular lifestyle. I guarantee that we're going to have an uptick in the market. There's going to be an uptick in tourism once everything turns around. It's just questionable as if it will ever go back to the same as how it used to be. You know, for Hawaii, we have constant tourism. Before all this happened, it was constant, and it never stopped. There was always an influx of tourism. So we expect it to come back. It's, again, the #1 tourist destination in the world. So people are always going to want to go to Hawaii to come and surf and see the islands and learn a little bit about the Pacific culture. The silver lining certainly is that these islands are so beautiful, and the culture is never going to go away. I think that if anything, people are going to build a bit more of a respect for the ability to come here, you know, because now no one can come here. It's closed off, and if you wanted to come here within the next 3 to 4 months, or if you had a vacation or a wedding planned during this time, everything got canceled. So I feel like there's going to be a bit of more appreciation for the ability to visit these islands, because they're so sacred and they're so special to the locals who grew up here and the families who have residence here and businesses here. They're so special, so unique, and everyone that lives here is so blessed to be able to call this place home. You know, quarantine on the islands right now isn't so bad. We're pretty much the most isolated place in the entire world. So we're lucky to not have very many cases. So I think the silver lining for us here is that we are very blessed to be here. And for those who are coming here in the future, should feel very grateful to have the ability to come here as well.
Right on. Well, thank you so much for your time today. We hope that you stay safe.
Will do. Mahalo.
Ciao. A huge shout out to today's sponsor, gmanstudio.com. gmanstudio.com offers a very unique service, a virtual producer service, where they will allow you to film an interview on Zoom, then cut and edit the interview to your specifications. If you're looking for any type of virtual producer services, think gmanstudio.com.